Greetings, abominable snowmen. I am Patrick Smith. Welcome back to Disenthrall. Today I want to kind of give you a stream of consciousness that I've had today on loyalty. And this is not like meant to be some philosophical conclusion or some maybe great epiphany. Just some thoughts that started this morning when my wife woke me up and she was talking about her service to the military. And her training, specifically in boot camp, when there was sort of constant appeals and expectations of loyalty to all sorts of layers of things. You know, your immediate group that you're training with, then your larger organization within the branch, then the branch of the military, then the military itself, and then hashtag America. You gotta be loyal. Some other things happening in life made me also think about the word and the concept and what it means. And it seems like there's two ways that it gets used, or that you could think about it or utilize this concept. One is good and useful and meaningful, and the other is deeply manipulative and dangerous and should probably be a red flag for everyone. So I want to start with the good way. In a way, I think, you being in a state, let's call it a state of loyalty to someone else. First of all, I don't think loyalty to a collective should probably ever be a thing. That's kind of dangerous. So when you're in a state of loyalty to another person, I don't really necessarily even think that should be a conscious thing. I think that's an involuntary state that you just kind of reach by virtue of the strength, of your relationship with that person, and by virtue of your own virtuousness and genuousness, the opposite of disingenuous. It's sort of like love is an involuntary response to virtue if you are virtuous. I think loyalty is just an involuntary response, an involuntary reaction, a thing that happens when you reach a really good place in a relationship with somebody else. So it should be something that you probably discover is already the case. You discover that you are loyal to somebody by thinking about your relationship with that person and your history with that person. I don't think it's ever something, and this is when we get to the bad usage of the term, it should never be something that you try to make the case. It should never be something that someone asks you to be, or it should never be something that someone tries to maneuver you into a state of being with them. It should never be something like if somebody asks you, how loyal to me are you? Are you loyal to me? It's another way of saying, can I trust you? I think that's I think in a lot of ways, maybe even most of the time, that should be a pretty big red flag. Because one, if you are loyal to someone, they should already know that when they think about your relationship. That should be apparent to them, just like other people's loyalty to you should be apparent to you if it's really there. If you question it, if you're having to ask, well, it's probably not the case, or at least not a genuine loyalty or a virtuous loyalty. When it's not the sort of involuntary, automatic kind of loyalty, I almost think that most of the time, all the other uses, or almost all the other uses of this loyalty concept in life, involve or require or are used in circumstances where there's something that needs to be overlooked. So like the only time that you'd worry if someone was loyal enough to you is if you did something that you were worried about them responding in a way you didn't like to. And so you were hoping that they were loyal enough to get your back on that. Like if you're always acting virtuously, then you're never worried about the loyalty of the people around you. And the people around you probably won't be asking you to make sure that you're loyal to them. If the people around you are virtuous and you are virtuous, then is there a need for loyalty? And I think that's the point. I think that's my point. If everyone in a situation is acting virtuously, then what does loyalty even mean in practice. It's only when somebody in the equation is not acting virtuously that people need to start using this loyalty term. So the concept in general, if it comes up in a conversation with somebody, my ears perk up and I pay a little more attention to make sure that whatever's going on is on the up and up. Another term right along the same vein is allegiance. And this is usually a group or a big collective or a country wants you to pledge your allegiance. What does that mean? Like if a friend of mine asked me to pledge my allegiance to them, they probably wouldn't be my friend much longer, because it means that they're probably going to do something that they want me to overlook and still maintain my relationship and my loyalty to them. Well, I don't want to do that with anybody or anyone. How strange would it be? How strange is it that countries demand pledges of allegiance? It's very manipulative. So it's Christmas Eve. I'm going to go spend time with my family. I hope you enjoyed those thoughts. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. I look forward to reading them. Merry Christmas.